Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to solve day 17 problem of this month on LeetCode. If you guys haven't subscribed my YouTube channel yet, then please go ahead and subscribe it. Now without any delay, let's get started with today's problem. So today we are going to solve problem number 57, that is insert interval. In this problem you have given an array of non-overlapping intervals. Okay, so see, this is an array intervals, and in this intervals array all these sub arrays are non-overlapping. Okay, so these are non-overlapping intervals. Okay, so this first one is the start time and this second one is the end time in the interval. Okay, so these are the non-overlapping intervals and all these are in increasing order. Okay, so see, this is, let's say this is one meeting going from 1 to 3, and this meeting ends at 3, and then the next meeting is starting at 6, and this meeting is going to end at 9. Okay, same way in this example 2, this is a meeting 1, starting point is 1, ending time is 2, starting time 3, ending time 5, starting time 6, ending time 7, starting time 8, ending time 10, starting time 12, and ending time 16. Okay, so no meetings are overlapping here, right? No intervals are overlapping here and are in strictly increasing order, right? So this is given to us one intervals array, and yeah, now we have to insert the new interval into intervals. Okay, so this is a new interval. We have to insert this new interval into our intervals array such that intervals is still sorted in ascending order by start I and start I, and intervals still doesn't have any overlapping intervals. Okay, merge overlapping intervals if necessary. Okay, we can merge the overlapping interval if necessary, and then again we have to return the intervals after the insertion. Okay, note that you don't need to modify the intervals in place. You can make a new array and return it. Okay, so see here, in the first example. Okay, so let me copy these two examples in the next page for explanation. Okay, so these two are the examples given to us, and in this first example, this is a starting time 1 and ending time 3. Okay, but you see, we have to fit this new interval into our intervals, right? And the starting time of this new interval is 2, right? This is 2. Okay, so we have to place it in between here. Okay, in between first interval. Okay, because this meeting's end time is 3. Okay, so we can't place it like this 1 3 and then 2 5 then 6 9. Okay, so this is not the best case. Why it is not the best case? Because first of all, it is not increasing order, because after 3 2 comes, and also it is overlapping, so this is not a good way. Okay, so what we are going to do here, we are going to check for the minimum. Okay, what is the minimum? If two intervals are overlapping, what is the minimum of these two intervals? What is the minimum of these two intervals? So minimum is 1 here, right? Of these two intervals, this 2 5 and this 1 3. Okay, minimum is 1. And what is the maximum of these two intervals? Okay, so maximum of these two intervals is 5. Okay, and this is what we are checking, and also we are checking if the next interval is starting from greater than this position. Okay, so here the next interval is starting from 6, and this 6 is bigger than this 5, right? So we are good. So this is going to be our output. Okay, so this is going to be our output, and the same way for this example 2. Okay, so here first of all we are checking all the intervals which are less than this time, this 4. Okay, so what is the end time of this first interval? End time of this interval is 2, and this 2 is less than 4. Okay, so let's put it here directly, because there is no need to change anything here, right? Because this 4 is bigger than this 2. Yes, we are fine. Then after that I am checking if this 5 is less than this 4. No, 5 is not less than 4. So that means we have to make some changes here in this, because these two are the overlapping, and we have to merge this new interval into our intervals. Okay, and now both of them are overlapping. Okay, so what we are going to do here, first of all we are going to check which is smaller in the start time. 3 is smaller or 4 is smaller? Yes, 3 is smaller. Okay, I am writing here 3, and after that I am going to check here 5 and 8, which one is the smaller. So 8 is smaller, so I'm going to write here 3 8. Okay, so I have written like 3 8. Okay, so this is done. 3 8. Again I'm going to check with, see this 6 and 7. Okay, so the 6 and 7 again fits inside this only. Okay, so 6 and 7, which is smaller, 3 smaller, and which is bigger. Here 7 and 8, which is bigger, 8 is bigger. Then again I reach here. Now again I'm going to check, because this value is again mixing now. This value 8 is again mixing with this interval as well, because now see 8 3 8 and after that 8 10 comes. Okay, so this is also not a best case. Okay, so now 3 and 8, which one is smaller? 3 is smaller. 8 and 10, which is bigger? 10 is bigger. Okay, 3 and 10 is done. After that I'm going to check 3 and 10 with 12 or 16. Okay, so this is the best case right now. Okay, we have found new interval 3 and 10, and here 12 is bigger than 10, so we don't need to consider now, we don't need to mix these two. Okay, so I'm putting this 3 10 here, and after that all the remaining intervals, because there is only single interval that we need to fit, right? And after that whatever the remaining part in this array, I am just going to place it here. Okay, so this is going to be my output: 1 2 3 10 12 16. So I hope that this is clear to you guys. Okay, so now I am going to write the code, and while writing the code I am going to explain step by step whatever I am doing here. Okay, so yeah, listen carefully. And yeah, so first of all let's calculate the length of our intervals. So int n is equal to intervals dot length, and let's create one result array where we are going to store our result. So it is going to be 2D array, so I'm going to write it like this: int result is equal to new int, and here we can give the length, like how many intervals. So I am going to write it like n, and here there are starting time and end time. Okay, so in a particular interval, so length is going to be 2 only, so I'm going to write here 2 0 and 1. Okay, so this is done. After that I'm going to create one list of int array. Okay, so this is one list, and in this list we have integer arrays. Okay, this is first array and this is second array. Okay, so I'm going to create one list of arrays. So I'm going to write like this: list of int arrays. Okay, okay, this is done. List is equal to new array list. Okay, this is done, right? So we have completed till here. Okay, so now after this I am going to check for this condition. Okay, all the values, all the intervals in which my this 2 is this position, my end position is less than my this part. Okay, this part, right? Because in that case I have to directly add, I don't need to check anything. I'm going to directly add the interval. And is less than new interval, and what is the position? This is 0 position. Okay, new interval of 0. This is what I'm going to check, right? So here I'm going to run one while loop. Okay, in while loop my I is less than n, and operation, and after that intervals. Okay, intervals array, and in intervals array I am checking what? I am checking my this end position, right? So I can write it like this: intervals of I, this part I, this one is 1, right? So intervals of I 1, right? This is less than my this new intervals first, right? So this is what I'm writing here, right? So I'm going to write it like this: new interval of 0. Okay, so I hope that this is clear to you guys, right? And if you guys still have any question, then please feel free to ask in comments. I'm happy to answer. Okay, so this is done. Then after that I'm going to add the interval in my this list. Okay, so in order to do that I'm going to do list dot add. Okay, in this list I'm going to add the intervals at which position? I. Okay, see here what is happening here. So I am considering this intervals as a list of array. Okay, so this is one a list, and in this there are some arrays. Okay, there are some arrays. Okay, so right now if this condition is satisfied, this 2 is less than 4, so I have to pass this whole value in my list, right? So can I say that this is my first position, this is my second position, something like that? Okay, here in the code, okay, here in the code, let's say I'm going to start from int I is equal to 1, int I is equal to 0, let's say I is equal to 0. Okay, mostly we do this. Okay, so here this is a 0 position, this is 1 position. Okay, and 0 position simply means that these 2 points, start time and end time, because my list is int array, because my list is arrays. Okay, because my list is, this is my list, and my list is consists of integer arrays. Okay, so list dot add intervals I simply means that I am passing this 1 and 3. Okay, so here this is done, and after that I am going to increment the values. Okay, so this is done. So in this part, in this particular code, I am going to add all the values here, all these values 1, 2, okay, which are less than this my new interval starting point. Okay, so this is done. After that, now what happens after that, in this particular example, now my 4 is smaller than this 5. Okay, so I have to merge the 2 arrays. Okay, so now let's do that. Okay, so now we are going to merge the intervals overlapping with the new interval. So for that, again run one while loop, simple, I is less than n, and intervals of I comma 0, okay, is less than equal to new interval of 1, new interval of 1. Okay, this is what I am checking here. Okay, so now here in this case I am making the changes in my new interval. Okay, so I am going to make the changes in my new interval. So new interval is having 2 positions, one is start and one is end. Okay, so I am going to make the changes in the start and end position of my new interval. Okay, so new interval 0 is going to be start time, and new interval of 1 is going to be my end time, right? End time of the interval. Okay, so can I write it like this, new interval of 0? So here in the starting point we were comparing the minimum. Okay, whatever the minimum I am going to write, right? Okay, math.min new interval 0 and my current interval I 0, right? Intervals, this is intervals I 0. Okay, so this is done. Now again I have to write the same thing here, but here we are comparing the end time. Okay, and in the end time we have to write the max, right? So new interval 1 and intervals of I comma 1. Okay, and after that I have to do I plus plus. Okay, I plus plus. So see, in this particular code, while I is less than equal to n, let me copy it somewhere. Okay, so this is the code. Okay, so once we find any interval in which my new interval start time is smaller than my current intervals end time, then that means these 2 cases are overlapping. Okay, so that is why we are come in this part right now. Okay, because before that I have added everything. I have added everything. Okay, I have found all the intervals which are less than my start time of new interval. Okay, and after that when we are going to execute this interval, this part, so that simply means we have found one overlapping one. Okay, so right now 3, 5, 4, 8, I'm going to compare 3 of 5, 4, 8. Okay, this is what I'm comparing right now. See here, so which is the minimum in the start time? 3 is the minimum. Which is the bigger in end time? 3, 8. Okay, so this is done. This is 3, 8 done. Then I is incremented. Then I am going to compare this 3, 8 with 6, 7. Okay, 6, 7 and 3, 8. So I am going to compare these two. So which is smaller in the start time? 3 and which is bigger in the end time 3 8. Okay, now I am going to compare this 3 8. My I is incremented, so now I am going to compare this 3, 8 with 8, 10. Okay, 8, 10. So 8, 10 which is smaller 3 and with 10, 8 which is bigger 10. Okay, 3, 10. So here I have found new interval 3, 10. Okay, now again when my I is incremented, then after that I am going to compare this 3, 10 with 12, 16. But right now I am good, right now these two are not overlapping. Okay, these two are not overlapping right now, right? So I am good here in this case, because this 3, 10s and time, okay, 3, 10s and time, 3, 10s and time is less than equal to my intervals I, 0. Okay, intervals I, 0. So this is satisfied right now. Okay, so I hope that you guys are clear with this particular code. Okay, so now this is done. After that I have to add the remaining intervals, whatever I'm left with, right? So new interval, I found the new interval value. Now let's add the now okay, once this is done, I have found the new intervals. Now let's add this into our list as well. List dot add new interval. Okay, so I have added new interval here, okay, in my list. So this is done. Now after that, again, now I have to again check while my I is less than equal to n, and I have to add all the remaining parts. While I is less than equal to n, list dot add intervals I. Okay, so this is done, and I plus plus. Okay, so this is done. Now in the end I have to store the result, store all these this list into my the result. Okay, so result is equal to new int. Okay, so here I am directly giving the size as n, but we don't need to give it, because we are merging the result here. Like this intervals has length 1 2 3 4 5, and here in the output the result is 3, result size is 3 only, right? So let's not initialize it here. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to initialize it here, new int, and here I'm going to I'm going to give the size as list dot size, right? That's it, right? List dot size, and this is done. And here 2 only. Okay, this is done. Now after that, just one thing is pending. I have to just return the result. Int j is equal to 0. J is less than my list dot size j plus plus. Okay, this is done. And then result of j is equal to merge list, I can say list dot get, and here I have to pass j. Okay, right now. So in the end I have to just return the result. So now let's run the code and see if there are any issues with our code. So all the test cases has been accepted here. Okay, so now let's submit it. So our solution is accepted, and the runtime is also very good, 98.87%. Okay, so I hope that you guys are able to understand today's problem. If you guys still have any question, then please feel free to ask in comment section. Till then, keep coding and keep practicing. Meet you in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.